Good morning people, welcome back to my channel. So it is Thursday the 22nd of April. So we are now 22 weeks out from competition, and today I'm going to be bringing you through a full day of eating. So the last time I did a full day of eating, if you go back to like video 2, I think I did full day of eating when I was on 3,800 calories when I was in like a maintenance phase, and now I am obviously cutting for the bodybuilding show and my calories are now at 29.45. So I've already had a calorie drop since prep started. So I did start off at 3,290 as you would have seen in the master plan video, whereas now the last week I've had my calories drop to 2,945, and then my high days I went from 3,7 down to 3,380. I'll put the macros on screen just so you can see what we're going to be aiming for today. Today is just a regular low day, which is 2,945. Protein is at 215. Carbs are 375, and then my fats are at 65. A big drop from the 3,800 calories, but then again, it is expected. My weight has not been dropping like we have anticipated it to, which is kind of annoying because historically I've never really had an issue with dropping body fat. I think I did kind of jinx myself in the call with Brad because I did tell him that, you know, I lose weight pretty well. I don't really adapt to the calories on the way down as much as I do on the way up. So yeah, I think I did kind of shoot myself in the foot there. So look, it is what it is. Starting off my morning as usual. This week I am a little bit slower to start. It is 10 to 8 now, and I'm only having my morning coffee and reading my book, which is due to the fact that I did drink some alcohol at the weekend. Yeah, drinking alcohol and staying on plate, like, it really does set me back. And you know, not even from a calorie perspective, but you know, my drive this week to do any kind of training. Thankfully I'm deloading this week, and you know, even just the drive, like even driving work, you know, I'm not necessarily wanting to do my kind of day-to-day task is kind of shitty. It's not really feeling I do enjoy, hence the reason why I don't really drink as much as I do, because I suppose I have some kind of driving purpose every single week that kind of I like showing up for. So I don't really feel the need to have some kind of like release at the weekend with a heap of drink. So that's it. I'm going to enjoy my coffee and I will see you at breakfast. Right, so here we go. This is going to be meal number 1. So if you watched the last video, you'll probably notice that my breakfast hasn't really changed that much. So we're going to be having a bagel with 2 eggs, 2 whole eggs, 4 bacon medallions, 1 of these cheese triangles, and then part 2 is going to be some oats. Now, there's some flavor drops in it as well, just for a little bit of vanilla taste, a bit of butter, crunchy peanut butter, whole milk, and some salt on the eggs as well as in the oats. Yeah, that's pretty much meal 1. I'll show you when it's done. This is part number 1, looking tasty. I am starving, so I'm gonna get stuck into this and then I'll show you part number 2. And there is part number 2. So pretty much the exact same breakfast as I had last time, I would think. I think it's more so that the meals later on are gonna change. So yeah, pretty boring as is the rest of my life, but look, that's it. Here we are. It is now 11:45, and this is gonna be meal number 2. So it's just gonna be a smoothie. I am going to train after having this as well. Now, from a kind of typical sense, is a smoothie a decent pre-workout meal? Like, it really depends, okay? Now, I'm going in to do deload session, so it's really not gonna be that taxing at all. So having a smoothie before I go in, you know, it's not a terrible option. Has some protein in it, has some carbs in it too. The fiber in it, like fiber is generally something that maybe people shy away from in a post-workout meal, purely for the fact that it's gonna slow down digestion. Then again, I don't necessarily want a really quick release of energy either. If you're going to be doing a longish session, even though it's a deload, it's still going to be a longish session. When we are feeding around the pre-workout window, we also have to consider what we've had throughout the day already. So for example, like today, like now it's like 10 to 12, okay? I already had my breakfast at what, 8:30. It was pretty big, as you could see. That food I had then is probably what's going to be more so in my bloodstream as I'm training, as opposed to this smoothie I'm eating now. It takes a long time for us to actually digest food and extract the energy from it. It's not necessarily just a case of what you have like half an hour or an hour before your training session. You also have to consider in what other meals have you had throughout the day first. When the pre-workout meal becomes a bit more important is if it is your first meal of the day. If you're having something that is very slow digesting at the very start of the day and you're training within half an hour of that meal, you're not going to be getting as much of a benefit from that. So for example, if you are eating like a huge bowl of oats and you have training in the next half hour, you're probably not going to be getting the full benefit of having those oats when you're training. First of all, you're probably still going to be breaking them down in your stomach, so you're not going to be extracting any energy from it. However, something that is maybe a bit more kind of dense in sugar, for example, the likes of a banana, you're probably going to break that down a lot quicker and probably going to be able to utilize the energy from that a lot quicker. As well, something like juice or a carbohydrate solution too, or some kind of quick digesting protein like whey, for example. However, if you're having the likes of meat and, you know, oats or something, as I mentioned, that is probably not going to be in your bloodstream and be able to use that for energy during your training session if you're having it first thing in the morning and training within like half hour. Also, if you are looking to really improve the taste of your smoothies, I highly recommend the vanilla raspberry flavor. This with like the combination of the frozen fruit is honestly immaculate. Also, using the exotic mix or frozen pineapple in it, game changer. There we go. I'll throw the macros on screen as per usual. So gonna have this, do a tiny bit of programming, and then I am going to hit the gym. Here we are in the gym. So this is the first deadlift session that I've actually shown you. So I start off my deadlift session with a top single. So this was meant to be around 7. It definitely felt a little bit harder. Definitely feeling a little worse for wear after drinking at the weekend. It really does have such a detrimental impact on my perceived performance, at least. But look, it actually moved okay. Like, it looks like it moves okay. It just didn't necessarily feel fantastic. So there you go, get to watch it again. So next up is my back off sets. So back off sets, because it is a deload week this week, I've just essentially been doing 2 sets on everything. So I'm pretty much maintaining intensity, so keeping my weights relatively close to what I've been doing in training, and then just dropping off volume, because I find definitely that I respond better to drops in volume than drops in intensity. I find if I drop intensity too much, I just end up playing catch up. So this is 220 for 6. This is my second set, so moves handy enough. And next up then, as you can see, fairly bollocks after a set of 6. That's the powerlifter life. Then after that, I've got 2 sets of leg extensions. So with the leg extension, you really want to think about like pulling yourself down into the seat. Like one like mistake I see people do is like they just have like their hands in their laps. Like that weight is trying to like shove you forward, so you really want to pull yourself into the seat so you can actually express max force into the shin pad. As well as like making sure you have the axis actually in line with your knee. That's also another big kind of mistake I see people make. So I have some long pause press up next. So 2 sets at 130 here. So just 2 sets of 3. Jamie providing them beautiful 3-second pauses for me. In regards to these, they're a good variation. I do enjoy them quite a bit. They are very challenging. It's probably my heaviest day of bench during the week. I do have a top single on Sunday, but these are the only kind of this is the only bench work that I have that's like for sets of 3. I just find them a very good kind of tough variation. I do like to include them, especially to help me with like leg drive, as well as maintain tension on the chest. So that's them done. And then after that, I did have some pull downs. So 2 sets here again. As you can see there, I have micro loaded the stack just with 2.5s there. I couldn't find a 5 to use, unfortunately. But yeah, essentially using a neutral grip here. Again, just because it's going to allow for a better, more natural arm path on the way down. It's going to be able to get a bit more kind of elbow to hip, because I am trying to target my lats more so here. So trying to keep my rib cage down slightly. I do have a little bit of an arch in the lower back, which I could definitely improve on for the next time. But yeah, these are feeling good. I do enjoy this handle. Yeah, and then that's pretty much them. Next up is rear delt rows. So the difference between making a row more rear delt focused and more lat focused is going to be down to the degree of like abduction you have with your arm here. So with my elbow position here, with my upper arm, I'm trying to almost flare my arm out. So you want to think about almost having your elbow almost in line with your shoulder, as opposed to your elbow in line with your body and bringing it down towards the hip. So I am essentially kind of rowing out as opposed to rowing in close to my body.
So that's going to make it more rear delt focused, because we want to think about the line of pull of which that muscle is pulling on that upper arm. Next up is going to be lateral raises. So you probably don't really want to see these, to be honest, but like, I'm including them just for the sake of you being able to see what my Thursday session looks like. So with the lateral raises, again, you can see if you look at my elbow position and my hand position, my thumbs are kind of pointed down and my elbows are pointed upwards, and this is going to place the lateral head on top of the axis, which is going to target the lateral head better than if you had your thumbs pointed upwards, which would actually train your front delts more. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I will see you at home.
Back from the gym now. Post-workout meal is going to be some chicken breasts. Also have some tender stem broccoli. No particular reason why it's tender stem, other than they had none of the other version. I have 380 grams of potatoes here, some sunflower oil, some mushrooms, and then I'm going to season the chicken in some bang bang marinade, as well as salt and pepper, and I'll show you when it's done. While I'm waiting for my potatoes to cook in the air fryer, I'm going to have my broccoli seasoned in this stuff. If you've never tried this and you're the type of person who doesn't really like vegetables for whatever reason, put this on them and get back to me. Absolutely pretty much MSG, but like, you know, no negative health effects really in this size that, you know, normal people are going to put on their food. Starter is finished. Starter with broccoli. And now the main course is here. So you can see I kind of cut the chicken up into like nuggets essentially, and coated them in the marinade as well as salt and pepper. The mushrooms, they were cooked in the griddle pan, and then the potatoes, I chopped them up into like little wedges, put them into a pot, swirl them around in a bit of salt, pepper and sunflower oil, and just pop them into the air fryer for about 20 minutes or so. And yeah, that is lunch prepared in 20 minutes or less realistically. So yeah, gone to chow down on this, and then I have to go and hit my steps because it is 4:30 and I have about 7,000 steps to hit. So I'm gonna get through this and I will see you later. So in addition to my calories being dropped, I have also had my steps increased. I was doing around 12,000 steps on average, whereas now I'm aiming for about 13,500 to 14,000, which is a big jump across the week, but it's small day to day. When we are trying to manipulate body composition and we're trying to manipulate energy expenditure and energy intake, like energy intake is always going to be the thing that's like easiest for us to actually manipulate, because you know, if you don't put something in your mouth, that's easily measurable. However, when it does come to the energy outside of the equation, like if you're trying to track calories, it's pretty impossible. Like any of the fitness watches, they're going to have a huge degree of error that's going to be associated with them. So probably the best way for you to try to manage your energy expenditure is through just increasing steps. So if you just have some kind of step tracker that's going to allow you to track your steps, it's going to be the best way for you to manipulate the energy outside of the equation while you're managing the energy in. Fat loss, for the most part, doesn't really have to get much more complicated than that, than manipulating energy in and energy out through decreasing food and increasing steps. Like at a certain point, you know, some people just will not have the time in their day to be able to like increase the steps up to like, you know, 15,000+. So for those people, they may just have to reduce energy intake, which is, you know, it's not ideal, but it will get you to your end point. And at the end of the day, if you're looking to reach a goal, you know, you should be willing to do most things to get you there. And especially if it's fat loss, like you are entering into that phase knowing that your calories will have to go down. So just gonna know what you're getting yourself in for, and don't really complain when, you know, your calories drop. It is now 5:45, so I have a consultation in 30 minutes time. Yeah, just a little snack before I do that, and then my dinner will be hour and a half or whatever. My snack, as you may have guessed by looking at these, I'm going to have some yogurt, some low-fat Greek yogurt. So, you know, if you're looking to increase your protein intake and just like general calcium intake, like this is a fantastic source of protein as well as calcium too. So you can see there, right, 100 grams, you are talking about 9.5 grams of protein. Look at the calories on it, 57. It's pretty fucking savage. So yeah, I'm going to have some of that. It is quite filling too, so that's obviously a plus. I'm going to have some vanilla flavor drops in them as well. Also gonna have some frozen raspberries. So I do like to crush these up because it almost seems it's like bits of candy or something. But yeah, again, if you're looking to have something that's like relatively tasty and is low calories, like you can't really go wrong with raspberries. for 100 grams, you're getting 40, it's only 48 calories, you know. You're going to increase your fiber intake too, you're going to increase like vitamins and minerals within the diet too. So, you know, it's just a very handy way for you to increase food volume while not necessarily having a huge amount of calories. So that's one of the reasons I love this. Then as well, Fiber One, the biggest treat within my diet is a Fiber Now bar. So yeah, chocolate fudge brownie, decent enough. It's a nice bowl of snack. This is it here. As you can see, crushed up raspberries. We have the Fiber One as well. So there's about like 17, 20 grams of protein in this. I'm not really too sure of the actual exact macros in every single meal, but I'll throw them on screen nonetheless. So yeah, gonna dig into this and then see you at dinner. Final of the meal about to be made. So we have some pork mince and beef mince, and we are essentially making like a Mexican bowl, I suppose, burrito bowl, you could call it. I'm using some of this seasoning. I am gonna be having salsa, I'm gonna have some black beans, I have 100 grams of rice there with a stock cube, and as well some pepper, onion, and garlic for some more veg. Pretty much what it looks like when it's not made, and I'll show you it when it is made. One key cooking tip I think is really helpful is, this could be super basic and not fucking clue, but it took me a long time before I realized, is throw in the likes of like aromatic stuff first. So aromatic stuff like, you know, your likes of your garlic and onions, before you throw in other things that are like harder to cook, or would, like if they lose their water, they're not going to be as nice. So the likes of like the beans and the peppers, I'm not going to throw them on it until these are like pretty much ready, because if I throw in the peppers and the beans now, they'll like lose a lot of water, they'll get really soggy, but they will also make these way waterier as well, real kind of sludgy, which I don't want. I want them to be kind of crisp. There we have it, final meal of the day. Got that low fat cheese on top of it as well, and I am just going to coat it in some of this hot sauce. Is fantastic when you're dieting because there is like no calories, it's just all sodium, bro. Look at the calories here, 44 calories per 100 mils. Realistically gonna use about 5 mils, if not less. Yeah, 2 calories, not even really worth tracking. That is all my meals for the day, and I'm gonna chow down into this, and I'll see you in the final clip. That pretty much wraps up today's video. So as you can see, my meals have not really changed that much from the last time that I actually made one of those videos. Like the main things that have really changed is like portion sizes. So like, you know what, the amount of like rice I'm using, the amount of potatoes I'm using, like they have all decreased. I've like removed some kind of carbohydrate based meals, like I removed cream of rice, for example. So like my overall diet hasn't changed a huge amount. Like the same, I'm still adhering to the same kind of meal structure, still trying to have like similar amount of protein in each meal. It's still like going towards like mainly whole food based meals, because at the end of the day, like while I am dieting, I really am trying to like, you know, maximize food quality, maximize foods that are going to make me feel quite good and give me a lot of energy, and are going to essentially reduce any hunger that I experience. Now there's definitely room for improvement in the diet. Like say for example, like something like maple butter, like maple butter is a bit of a, you know, it's sugar essentially, so you know that's really just in there purely for taste. Now if I wanted to be a bit more mindful with that, I could definitely look at replacing that with fruit for equal calories, and that's going to give you like more food volume, for example. You can really tell that I've just kind of stopped giving fucks with doing these videos. So essentially it is 9:10 and I have like 900 steps left to do. I'm out with my blue light blockers, recording myself talking to a camera, and I am also in my sliders. Not a single fuck given, but look, I have to get used to it, don't I? That pretty much wraps up today's video. If you did enjoy the video, like always, like, you know, make sure that you are subscribed first of all. Make sure you like the video, make sure that you share with friends, help the channel grow. And as well as always, if you have any feedback for me, like, do leave a comment. If there's anything in this video that was unclear, like, do ask me some questions. I'm always here to help and to engage. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.